Kirk Alexander was a man who lived a quiet, isolated life in an American city, a man who for years kept to himself inside his home. He had no wife, no children, and barely any visitors. He worked an online job, which meant he rarely had to step outside. His world was confined within four walls, just him and his laptop. But then, in April 2016, something happened, something so strange, yet so subtle, it ended up saving his life. Let me take you back a bit. Alexander had one habit, one routine that he never broke, not even once. Because he lived alone, he never liked to cook. So every single night, like clockwork, he would order food from the same place, Domino's Pizza. Now here's where it gets bizarre. He had been doing this for the past 10 years. Yes, every single night, without fail, he ordered Domino's from the Silverton Road branch, just 6 minutes away from his house. Between 11 p.m. and midnight, his order would come in, like a ritual. And it was always pizza, sometimes with Pakistan, sometimes Vegas, sometimes Celeste, and occasionally Puja. That was his strange rotation of preferences. By now, you're probably thinking, there's no way someone keeps this up for 10 years straight. But he did. And in that time, Alexander went from being just another customer to being a fixture in that Domino's store. Almost every staff member had been working there for over 5 years, and they all knew him. But the one who knew him best was the manager, Sarah Fuller. She had developed a soft spot for him, not romantically, but because Alexander was just different, quiet, consistent, lonely. He didn't go out much, he didn't really have friends. His world, his entire social circle was this pizza shop and its staff. That was it. But then, in April 2016, everything changed. One night, the Domino's team noticed something odd, something that had never happened before. There was no order from Alexander. At first, they brushed it off. Maybe he went out of town. Maybe he fell asleep early. Could be anything, right? But then the next night came, still no order, then the next and the next. 11 nights passed, still nothing. By this point, Sarah Fuller, the store manager, was growing seriously concerned. She had tried calling Alexander several times, but his phone disconnected. Something wasn't right, and deep down she knew it. Now, the staff at Domino's Pizza started to worry. Sarah Fuller, the store manager, couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Alexander, who they lovingly called Karen, had vanished from the routine he'd followed for 10 straight years. So Sarah made a decision. She assigned one of their regular delivery drivers, someone who also knew Karen very well, to check up on him. That night, around 11 o'clock, the driver pulled up outside Karen's home. From the outside, everything looked normal. The lights were on. The TV was playing inside. There was even a faint buzz of familiar noise coming from the window, but something wasn't right. The delivery driver walked up to the door and knocked. Once, twice, multiple times, but no response. He stood there for a while, waiting, hoping, but the door never opened. Disturbed, he returned to the restaurant and told Sarah and the others everything. The lights were on, the TV was blaring, but Karen wasn't answering the door. Sarah's concern now turned into fear. She didn't wait any longer. She picked up the phone and dialed 911. Within minutes, the police were dispatched to the house. When they arrived, they too knocked on the door repeatedly, but still, nothing. And yet, just like the delivery driver said, the lights were still on, the TV was still making noise. Something wasn't adding up. That's when the officers made a split-second decision. They broke down the door and rushed inside. And there on the floor was Karen, unconscious, motionless, barely breathing. Without wasting a second, they called an ambulance. Paramedics arrived quickly and rushed him to the hospital. Karen's condition critical, but miraculously, he was still alive. Doctors began treatment immediately. They discovered that Karen had been extremely ill for several days. He was weak, dehydrated, and worst of all, he hadn't even been able to charge his phone. He was completely cut off from the outside world. If just a few more hours had passed, he may not have survived. But he did, and you know why? Because of pizza, or rather, because of the bond he unknowingly formed with the Domino's staff over the past 10 years. They were the only people who noticed he was missing, the only ones who cared enough to check. When word of this story spread, it caught the attention of local media. It went viral. People everywhere praised the Silverton Road Domino's team, and rightfully so. Their act of concern saved a man's life. Domino's corporate even recognized their effort. The entire staff received praise, and yes, Their salaries were increased as a token of appreciation. As for Karen, there's no public update on where he is today, but who knows? Maybe tonight he's back to his routine, placing that familiar order from Domino's Pizza, just like old times. If you liked the video, then definitely like the video. To watch such interesting videos, subscribe HS Stories and also set the bell icon so that you keep getting notifications of new videos. Take very good care of yourself. See you in the next video.